Hello and welcome. I'm Wolfgang Riebe and these are my quick tips. Today, rage and anger. When last did you really get angry? Was it a month ago or a week ago? Or what about a day ago? How about this morning? Has it ever happened that your spouse, your child, someone at work, or even some selfish driver in another vehicle annoys you so much that you brood over it for a whole day? In fact, your blood pressure rises and you're in a lousy mood for the next few days, simply because of this one little incident. Do you know that for some people, just seeing a certain corrupt politician's face on the news creates that kind of anger? In fact, that's why I've stopped watching the news. But I'm sure you can relate to a lot of these things, and I'm sure they sound familiar to you. We're all normal, we all go through these emotions. So today I thought I would deal with anger management, as many of us can really become angry within seconds over all sorts of issues. First, we have to ask the important question, what is anger? Have you ever heard of the saying, I'm so cross my blood is boiling? Yeah? Or I'm so angry I can have a heart attack right now? I can relate to that. Well, this is pretty much what happens when you are angry. Your adrenaline starts flowing, your heart rate goes up, and your blood pressure rises. All of this is triggered by one little incident. Kind of whacked out, huh? Now, it could even be a perceived snide comment by somebody, or behavior by somebody else, or it could even be something as silly as you catching your finger in the drawer and you're like, angry at yourself. Do I see you smiling? Yes, we can all relate to this. Look, it's important to note that anger is neither good nor bad. The problem is, it's the way we react to it, because anger is normal. But if you react in the wrong way, that's when it messes you up. And most of the time, when you do silly things yourself, you really get so upset, but it causes problems. You see, I need to share with you the little tips to help you now cope with these problems and these little outbursts of emotion that you can control them. Some people actually believe you should just let it be. They think it's healthy to vent their anger, and what they don't realize is the damage that it can cause. Uncontrollable and consistent anger can affect a number of things. A, your physical health. Do you realize that you can become more prone to heart disease, to diabetes, to high cholesterol levels, a weakened immune system, insomnia, and obviously high blood pressure, just because you cannot control your anger. B, your mindset. That's the part I like to concentrate on. You waste time harping on non-important issues, and what do? They cloud your thinking, and they make you subjective and angry and negative, rather than positive and objective. Plus, anger leads to constant frustration, stress, and depression. C, what about your work? By displaying short and angry behavior towards people at work, your career is going to suffer from every single angle. And then D, your relationships. Those around you, guess what? They no longer feel comfortable expressing their feelings and emotions due to your continued outbursts. And what does this do? It causes communication problems, plus lasting scars. Your loved ones are suddenly too scared to speak to you, and this is a build-up because of this constant behavior, and hence they become distant, and you wondered why. Can you see the effect it can have on you? So how can you control your anger? I'm going to share 12 tips in no specific order. Number 1, realize that you are angry and face the fact it is affecting you. It's no use running away, and it's no use denying your anger or always blaming someone else for it, because then you are never ever going to find a solution. At the same time, I need you to learn to identify the trigger points, those things that actually set you off, because you cannot solve any problem if you don't know what causes it. So, you need to be honest with yourself, and that's tough. but you can do it. Be honest with yourself and have the ability to be man enough or woman enough to admit your own faults and mistakes. That makes a big difference. Point 2, when you're angry, take a break. Walk away. If you've been angered at the office, go into another office, walk down the passage, ideally go outside the building and go take a walk. If at home, go into the street, take a stroll through the park, just get out. It's much easier to think about the situation objectively when you are out of the environment that brought on the anger. That's only logical. Now, when you return, you can suddenly express your anger, which will most probably be very much more diminished, in a way lesser, non-confrontational way. You see, the problem is we react spontaneously and we don't think, because you need to have the time to think about and analyze your response. This walking away gives you the time to reflect and to change your own behavior. In fact, once a week I go cycle in a nature reserve. And it's absolutely fantastic because I use half of the cycle to get rid of all the nonsense in my life. And then on cycling back, I soak up all the beauty around me. Guess what? I come home completely inspired and totally re-energized. 3, focus on the positive rather than the negative. Okay, so someone has just reversed out of the parking lot behind you at the same time that you started reversing, and what do? Oh, and you start cursing. But look at the positive. Luckily, you both stopped in time. So instead of screaming and being negative at the other driver, focus on the fact that you didn't have an accident. And now you don't have to phone the insurance. You're not going to lose your no-claim bonus. You don't have to take your car in to have it repaired, etc., etc., etc. Be grateful that no accident occurred. And then think about it. Do you really believe the other person purposely reversed out of their parking at the same time as you just to cheese you off and with the intention of causing an accident? I don't think so. Maybe you should look at yourself. Were you concentrating? And then 4, accept the reality that there are selfish, unpredictable morons in the world who are more stupid than you. Yes, they are there. No matter how good and decent you are, they do exist. And guess what? They will always exist. And they will always annoy you. So you've got a choice. Are you going to let them annoy you or not? Realize that most of the time they are so caught up in their small little worlds that they don't even know or aren't even aware of the fact that they are annoying you. The only person getting high blood pressure is you. Accept this. And half your anger will go away. Think about it this way. If we were all the same, the world would be boring. Makes sense, huh? Point number 5. If you cannot control your temper by counting to 10 or practicing deep regular breathing as our parents taught us, then go take a run or go jump on a trampoline or go visit a gym and do weights and get rid of the aggression. Don't laugh. A good session of strenuous exercise really helps get rid of that inner frustration and anger. This is another reason why you should exercise regularly. Similarly, taking a time out is not just something we should teach our children to do, but we as adults should be doing it as well. And as I mentioned earlier, this is what gives you a chance to go and collect your thoughts and become more objective about your reaction. 6, swap you with I. Now, in most heated debates, you accuse the other person of the wrongful behavior or act or whatever they did. Now, it's always you did this and you said that. So why don't you change this around completely and bring yourself into the picture, into the sentence, by saying things such as, I feel this, and I am not. And by replacing the you with an I, you are actually putting more focus on yourself. And suddenly you realize that maybe everything is only about I, and that just maybe the other person, you, wasn't so much in the wrong after all. Point number 7. It goes without saying that you must let go. Never ever focus on the past or hold a grudge or remain bitter. you do that, you're never going to get better and get rid of your anger. You will never be able to be clear and get over your issues if you don't let go. Remember that anger can be an excuse for masking other feelings and issues that you may have, such as shame, guilt, or hurt. Consider that. Point 8, food and sleep affects your moods. Bottom line, that's a fact. Make sure you get enough regular sleep and be aware of what you're stuffing down your throat. We just eat food and we don't even look what's in it. Producers are putting all sorts of nonsense and preservatives into food and unnatural products that affect us. Read what the ingredients are. Do you know that sugars can change the way you act and behave and affect your mood? Start becoming aware of how the food that you eat makes you feel. This one little tip alone can make a huge difference and have a huge impact on your life. 9. If someone has an annoying trait, for example, they're always late, then accept this as a characteristic of them because you know that's who they are. So the next time they're late, don't get all annoyed and huffed and puffed about it. Plan for the fact that they'll be late and take something with to do. Catch up on emails, some admin. Use the time to be productive rather than just waiting and getting upset. That's really logical. It's not difficult to do. 10th point. Put your anger on hold. And that's one of the more difficult tips to do, but it is possible. Sometimes you can't go out. You're sitting there and you have to deal with it. You just need to try and put it on hold. Instead of having an outburst, sit back and really do that counting to 10. Hold yourself back and say to yourself, I'm going to come back to this in an hour or 2, maybe even a day. And then when you eventually do get back to it, because you've given that break away from it, guess what? You'll notice that it wasn't such a big deal as it was then when it happened. And 11, during the time that you are calming down, now whichever method you prefer, look for solutions to the annoyance or the problem so that when you do confront this issue again, guess what? You already have possible solutions to bring to the table. Makes you think, huh? And then lastly, point 12, be realistic and ask yourself 3 simple questions when you get angry. The first question you need to ask yourself is there anything positive I can do about this? The second question is taking the necessary steps to solve this worth my time? And the third question you should ask is my current reaction appropriate to the current situation? Your answers to these questions should give you a good indication as how to solve the squabble at hand. I thank you for your time. That was a lot of information, but I trust you can take something home and use that and just let go of all the anger and rage. Thank you very much. I'm Wolfgang Riebe. I'll see you in my next quick tip.